this chapter will help you gain a better understanding of the operational ability that FSPs must have and maintain, as well as the financial soundness requirements which must be met. Applicants must have operational ability before they will be authorized to act as FSPs. Once an FSP is authorized, the key individual must ensure that these abilities are maintained and managed. These requirements include the following: a fixed business address, adequate access to communication facilities, at least a full-time telephone or cell phone service, typing and document duplication facilities, adequate storage and filing systems for the safekeeping of records, business communications and correspondence, an account with a registered bank including, where required by the Act, a separate bank account for clients' funds. Where the FSP is an accountable institution as defined in FICA, all the necessary policies, procedures and systems to ensure full compliance with FICA and other applicable anti-money laundering or terrorist financing legislation. An FSP that utilizes any third party to render administrative or system functions in relation to the rendering of financial services on its behalf must have a detailed service level agreement specifying the agreed services, time standards, roles and responsibilities, and any penalties that might be applicable in place. An FSP must ensure that internal control structures, procedures and controls are in place, which include at least the following: segregation of duties and roles and responsibilities, where such segregation is appropriate from an operational risk mitigation perspective, application of logical access security, access rights and data security on electronic data where applicable, physical security of the provider's assets and records where applicable, documentation relating to business processes, policies and controls and technical requirements, system application testing where applicable, disaster recovery and backup procedures on electronic data where applicable, appropriate training for all key individuals and or representatives regarding the requirements of the Act, training for all key individuals and or representatives regarding the giving of advice or rendering of intermediary services by the provider, and a business continuity plan. An FSP must ensure that the necessary system controls and compliance measures are in place to manage and monitor the relevant systems in use. An FSP must record all financial and systems procedures to ensure that the FSP is able to report in terms of applicable accounting requirements. An FSP must have general administration processing, accounting transaction, and risk control measurements in place to ensure accurate, complete, and timeous processing of data, information reporting, and the assurance of data integrity. An applicant must, if and to the extent required by the registrar, maintain in force suitable guarantees or professional indemnity insurance or fidelity insurance cover to cover the risks of losses due to fraud, dishonesty, or negligence. A key individual in respect of an FSP must have and be able to maintain the operational ability to fulfill the responsibilities imposed by the Act on FSPs, including oversight of the financial services provided by the representative of the FSP. Another requirement for applicants of an FSP license is that they must meet certain financial soundness requirements before they will be authorized to act as FSPs. The financial soundness requirements are reflected here. Where an FSP has multiple licenses, the most onerous financial soundness requirements must be met. Section 19 of the FASE Act requires FSPs to meet certain accounting and audit requirements. One of the requirements is full and proper accounting records, which must be updated monthly. Another requirement is the submission of annual financial statements, reflecting the financial position of the business for the financial year. A summary of this chapter. Managing the infrastructure within the FSP is part of the key individual's responsibilities. In order to meet the licensing requirements, FSPs must have the operational ability to render financial services. Once licensed, these requirements must be maintained. In order to get an FSP license, applicants must demonstrate that they meet the financial soundness requirements. These requirements are ongoing during the lifespan of an FSP license. The General Code stipulates the asset values that must be maintained at all times for the different product categories.